Good morning, dear students. Here we are in a new session, Agriculture. Agriculture is the practice of cultivating plants and rearing animals to provide food and other products to sustain life. The history of agriculture dates back thousands of years. Around 12,000 to 15,000 years ago, some groups of people made the transition from hunting and gathering to a settled life based on growing crops. Today, agriculture continues to be a major occupation with more than 40% of the world population directly depend on it. Factors influencing agriculture. There are several factors that influence agriculture. These factors decide what crops can be grown in a region. Now, some of them are soil, climate, nature of the terrain, distance from the market, soil. The soil of a region determines the type of crops grown there. While some crops like rice and cotton grow well in clay soil, other crops like wheat needed a well-drained soil. Climate. The average temperature of place and the amount of rainfall it gets are key factors in deciding the nature of crops grown in that area. Crops like wheat needed a cool, dry growing period, while crops like rice needed a hot, wet climate. Nature of the terrain. Mountains and hilly areas are better for the cultivation of certain crops like tea and coffee, which needed well drained soils. Hilly areas with pastures are usually better suited to the rearing of animals. Distance from the market. Farms producing perishable crops like vegetables and those rearing cattle for the dairy industry are usually located near cities and towns as their product needs to be consumed within a few days. Types of agriculture: shifting farming, subsistence farming, plantation farming. This is one shifting farming. This is one of the most primitive type of agriculture. It is usually practiced in heavily forest region. Farmers prepare the field by burning down patches of forest. The ash from the burnt tree added to the fertility of the soil. This patch of land is cultivated till it starts losing its fertility. The farmer then abandons this plot of land and clear another patch of the land for cultivation. Subsistence farming. Subsistence farming is practiced on some plot of land with the farmer producing just enough crop to meet the need of his or her household. Usually, there is not enough produce left over for sale. The farmer uses simple tools like the wooden plow for plowing the land and the sickle for harvesting the crops. Another one is plantation farming. Plantations are very large farms where usually only one crop is cultivated. Plantation farming is also commercial in nature where the produce is sold for profit. Plantations are common in tropical areas where the temperature and annual rainfall are high. Now, types of crops. Farmers around the world grow a wide variety of crops. They can be loosely grouped in the following types: food crops, cash crops, fodder crops, and plantation crops. Number 1, food crops. Food crops that are produced for use as food are called food crops. Example: grains like wheat, rice, maize, oat, and barley are important food crops. Another one is cash crops. Cash crops that are grown mainly for commercial purpose are called cash crops. Example: cotton, jute, oilseeds, and sugarcane are cash crops. Fodder crops. Crops that are grown as food for livestock are called fodder crops. Alfalfa, barley, turnip, certain grasses, and maize are examples of fodder crops. Plantation crops. As we have already seen, plantation crops are those that are grown on very large farms to be sold for profit. Coffee, tea, rubber, cashew, and coca are few examples of major plantation crops. Now we'll learn another one is modern and traditional agriculture. Traditional and modern agriculture. Number 1, preparation of the field is done manually in traditional agriculture. In modern agriculture, tractors are used to till the soil. Number 2, in traditional agriculture, harvesting is done by hand or with tools like the sickle. Machinery is used for harvesting in modern agriculture. Number 3, in traditional agriculture, irrigation is done by hand. Water is brought from wells and hand pumps or tube wells. In modern agriculture, depending on the nature of the crop and the climate. Thank you.